Trinity.com. The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
Every day I speak with people who are worried and are feeling a lot of pressure because of credit card debt. That's why I'm very proud of what we do at Trinity. We just help. We give people the support they need, along with a real plan to become debt-free. Credit card bills are consolidated into a single monthly payment that is much less than what they were paying before. Most of our members end up saving thousands and even may improve their credit scores by as much as 200 points. I know from the bottom of my heart that I'm making a difference in the lives of the people we help. It just makes me really happy.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-793-8548.
My name is Julie, and I'm a Trinity counselor. Call me and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-793-8548.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pestaway in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pestaway today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
Convenience just got an upgrade. Farmers State Bank of Oakley is excited to announce the opening of our brand new ATM along Highway 40, right next to Sonic Drive-In. Back or on the go, you can quickly access your cash without the detour. It's banking made easy, right where you need it. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
With NWKS Radio News, I'm Connor Schuh. The Sunflower Festival is officially making it back to downtown Colby in 2026. The Sunflower Festival Committee decided it will be a 2-day operation just like last year, taking place on October 21st and the 22nd. A full schedule of events has not been released at this time, but many will return from last year, including the car show, Boots on the Bricks, some kid activities, and again, more that has not been announced. NWKS Radio will be back again, providing music and coverage of the festival. In other news, a bipartisan group of Kansas lawmakers filed legislation yesterday to prohibit cell phones in K-12 schools. Senate Majority Leader Chase Blasis and Senate Minority Leader Dina Sykes presented Senate Bill 302 with 26 other senators co-sponsoring the bill. The bill would affect both private and public schools accredited by the Kansas Department of Education. For these and other stories, go to nwksradio.net.
Dry conditions and above normal temperatures continue today, partly to mostly cloudy with highs 60 to 65. Northwest winds will turn to the southeast at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight we'll have increasing clouds, east-northeast winds at 5 to 15 miles per hour, and overnight lows will be a degree or two above freezing. Tomorrow will be colder. A brief shot of rain or snow is possible in the morning. Then afternoon will be cloudy with highs 40 to 45, north winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Light rain showers changing to snow tomorrow evening and overnight as temperatures drop into the 20s and winds turn to the north, gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour. Friday morning, we could see 1 to 3 inches of patchy blowing snow, heavier along and south of I-70, where it could cause some travel issues with low visibility and icy spots. Highs will be 30 to 35 and lows in the teens with snow ending. Saturday is still windy and cold with highs in the upper 30s and low 40s. This meteorologist Chris Romick of the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
When you gotta go, but there's nowhere to go, who you gonna call? Topside Portables and Pumping, that's who. Weddings, job sites, farm parties, they've got clean, reliable porta potties that don't stink, literally. And if your septic tank smells worse than last year's chili cook-off, they'll pump it out fast. No mess, no fuss. Family owned, Heartland values, always ready. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. When duty calls, they answer.
If you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, I can help. I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Chris Yost. Together, we can give your long-term retirement strategy the attention it deserves. Stop by our office at 1110 Main in Goodland. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
The holiday season just got brighter at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Wrap up the year with 0% for 36 months on all 2026 Chevrolet Trailblazer and Equinox models. Or slide into a new GMC, 1.9% for 36 months on a 26 Arcadia, plus up to $7,000 in rebates on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation with Turbo Max with eligible trade-in. Big savings, big style, and big holiday cheer. Only at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Stop in today or visit online at hurlchev.com.
At Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic, they believe in promoting healthier living through compassionate quality care. From state-of-the-art maternity care to life-saving emergency services, their dedicated team is there for you and your family. Whether it's managing diabetes, navigating recovery, or receiving specialized treatments, they're committed to your well-being. Discover the difference a community-focused hospital can make. Visit rayhospital.org today to learn more. Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic. Your health, our priority.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
At Nextech Wireless, get the iPhone 17 on us. iPhone 17 comes with a brighter 6.3-inch display and a ceramic Shield 2 front that's 3 times more scratch resistant. Nextech Wireless, connecting Kansas.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4! It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
The amount of money getting thrown around to quarterbacks who haven't done diddly squat is amazing to me.
And Connor Schuh.
He's the new guy.
The High Plains only local sports talk show. Broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Covering it all from the preps.
He's at the 10, the 5. He dives for the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, Cowboys!
To the pros.
Line drive, left field, base hit. Here comes McMahon. He'll score. Ball game.
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the Insurance Agency, Pestaway LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakley.
Let's go to work.
Ruda with the pass up top there to Galliard. Lost it. It goes into the backcourt. Hustling for it. Sturgill on the floor. Able to kick it out up top there to Libby Cure with the step through. Layup in. What a play.
Very nice.
Up top. Collett for a big 3.
Boom.
And just like that, Goodland back within a half dozen.
Hands off to Council. Crosses over. Leans in. Melvin turns. Gets fouled. Bucket's good. It hung up on the lip and somehow crawls through. Jackson in the corner. Trap comes. Nearly threw it away, but Council keeps. 3-on-1. A lob and a slam. Trey White fires it home.
And we are back on a Wednesday, January the 7th. It's the Morning Blitz on Goodland's Rocket 102.5, NWKSradio.net. And, of course, the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on YouTube, Facebook, and X. So glad you decided to join us here on this Wednesday. Pretty much a carbon copy start to the day as yesterday. It feels very similar. 32 degrees outside to get the day going. Going to be temperatures in the upper 50s, and enjoy it. We have got moisture, it sounds like, coming our way starting tomorrow. We will see possibly a rain-snow mix on Thursday, and then possibly some accumulation of snow on Friday. Now, how much that is depends on where you are. If you're further east, probably less. If you're more to the west, maybe a little bit more. I don't think we're going to see one of those massive dumpings of snow that you see off of the lake up in Ohio. But
I doubt it.
You're probably going to see some sort of snow I would say, coming up here. And why not? I washed my vehicle this weekend, so I'm just bringing on the rain. I mean, that's how it always works. I can't keep it clean for more than probably 4 or 5 days without the weather doing something. But if it's going to do something, make it worth my while. Don't come here and just do a little spitty spit, and that's it. Make it worth my while.
We need like 7 inches of snow.
My back does not need 7 inches of snow. I'll tell you that much. Depends.
Fair point.
Kind of snow. I mean, I guess if it's heavy, wet snow, I definitely don't need 7 inches of heavy, wet snow.
I was thinking more the fluffy kind, that's easy to move around a little
with your
bit.
leaf blower, you mean? You could just kind of
blow. Exactly.
Lots blow off with the leaf blower, though. You're still going to need to get the shovel out. My back doesn't like that, but
I'm thinking the kind you can kick around with like your boot.
Once again, I don't think we're going to see 7 inches of snow at this point in time. It will be cold this weekend. I have seen temperatures that are going to get down to pretty frigid. I think last I saw Saturday is going to be like 20. Saturday now, highs in the low 40s. It was in the 20s. Prior to that, Friday will be highs in the upper 30s, so much cooler day coming on Friday. And then Thursday, temperatures in the mid 40s. So the cool down begins after today here on the high plains. He's Connor Schuh. I'm Ross Volkmer. We got a full show ahead for you today. We're going to try take 2. Lincoln Cure set to join us in studio today. Hopefully he won't get caught by a train. He'll make his way into the studio today, and we'll be able to have him and talk a little about K-State football and the nuttiness of, what he's experienced in his first season and the nuttiness of, portal time. Not that he's in the portal or anything like that, but, the nuttiness surrounding the sport that he plays. We'll get to all that with him coming up here in segment 2. Speaking of the portal, more madness last night with the news out of Seattle, Washington. We got to get to that in segment number 3. Just absolutely crazy. K-State and Colorado hoops back in action tonight after Kansas pulled one out of their you-know-where last night against TCU at home at the Fog. We'll get to that here in just a little bit as well, but want to start off with some high school recap. As always, the FNB Bank text line is open at 785-899-2222. If you'd like to be part of the show, get in your thoughts, your comments, your questions, opinions, whatever it is, we'd love to hear from you throughout the program. But last night, high school basketball back into the full swing. Pretty much every team, I think, now has played at least one game here in the new year. There were some very interesting games down south in Holcomb. There was some interesting storylines over in Hoxie and some other really good games around the area, including a great game over there in Rexford between Golden Plains and Wichita County. But man, talk to me about Hoxie. Okay, first of all, I got to know about the Hoxie gym situation. Was I right on the atmosphere and the broadcast spot?
You were right. I went in there and it was a bit of a free-for-all. I couldn't get in contact with anyone before, so I was kind of just asking around, like, hey, like, where am I supposed to be? Because I saw there was a little bit of space, but I wasn't too sure. I ended up just kind of going over there and plot my stuff down. No one stopped me. So I was in the spot you were talking about, right court side. So you're right in the middle of everything. And I was kind of towards the left side. So I was right next to the Hoxie bench. So not the happiest group of people over there during the boys game, at least. So it was interesting.
Yeah, it's a neat little gym for sure. And like I said, you're right on the floor. You can hear if when it's in the first half, the coaches are yelling, across the court usually, to their teams, and so you get everything the coaches say. Always love that part too. You get here, and then during the huddles, you get to a 6 full timeout, 6-second timeout, and you take a break, and then you listen to what's going on.
Yeah, I'll pull off part of my headset. So
Coach so-and-so was thinking about this in the huddle. They really try to make an adjustment on it. It's like, you get this insider information.
It's nice.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. So it was pretty darn cool. But I think that night went about how I thought it would over there in Hoxie. Colby boys just completely blow out Hoxie, who's, I think, overmanned. Senior Jordan Jones, by the way, not to bury the lead, 51 points to win. That's a school record, I read, for Jordan Jones, as they win 97-31 in the girls' game. A close one, but Hoxie pulling it out in the end, which, once again, I'm not totally shocked at.
Yeah, and for that girls' game, Hoxie, actually, they really controlled that in the second and third quarters, and they had a 22-point lead going into the fourth. And Colby stormed back, and they, for a second, it looked like they were going to fully come back, but unfortunately, the shots weren't falling at the very end, but they made a really good effort. And then on the other side, Colby boys, I mean, it's Hoxie to, I guess, set the scene. most of their JV roster is their varsity roster, so they are a little bit overmanned. And Colby, did leave Jordan in for a little while, so and they were pressing all the way up until I think the end of the third quarter. So that's why the score
I saw
was.
some people weren't very happy about that when it was.
No, some of the Hoxie fans and parents were not super pleased with the aggression from Colby for at least 3/4 of that game. They backed off in the fourth quarter. We backed off in the fourth quarter, and then I wouldn't say let him go or anything, but I guess didn't pump on the gas too much, because at that point it was a 60-point game. It's like, all right, let's relax a little bit. This game is over. We can chill now. And they did, but still 50 points is 50 points. That's incredible from Jordan Jones. Not to mention that's 90 points in the past 2 games. He scored 41 against Larned last game. So that's incredible. I was talking to Rich Epp after the game, and we were saying that's the first time we'd ever seen a guy go for 40 plus in back-to-back games, at least in a game we've broadcasted. I'm like, yeah, it's simple as that. You don't see that ever.
It's a great performance, and he deserves a lot of credit. He's, like I said, he's been a great basketball player ever since he was even a freshman. Now he's really, really good as a young player coming off the bench. And now it's his time to shine, and he is doing that. And they're allowing him to do that. Coach Stevens is allowing him to be that guy who takes over. I'm fascinated to see when they play. This is no offense to Larned or Hoxie, but a little bit better competition, what teams do defensively against him, and then how does he respond to that here. He's had a great year to this point in time. I'm waiting to see when he faces, he'll definitely get his points. That's my point. But how do you, if you're a coach, you're like, well, he's going to get some of his points, but we're going to make sure that other people try and beat us as well.
A lot of doubles. I remember against Holcomb, he was bottled up a little bit, but bottled up was 22 points still. So
has he seen the box and won yet?
I don't think quite yet, but I think we can see that maybe as soon as next game after teams see the stats he just put up. I wouldn't be surprised.
Box and 1 coming to Jordan Jones, possibly. Who's next on the schedule?
It's Hugoton this Friday.
Okay. Is that
at home?
Okay.
At home.
Yeah. All right. Good to know. That'll be a great test game for him, because Hugoton's going to have, they're well coached, got great players, got a great program. That'll be a great test. If he can go out and drop if he can get to 25 points or more, I think that'd be a real feather in his cap.
Oh yeah.
Especially against a really good Hugoton program. Anything else stand out about those 2 games last night over there in Hoxie?
I guess one more note about the boys. They did also, despite Jordan Jones 50, they spread the ball out really well. I think 9 different guys scored, and only 2 of them in double figures. So they were still sharing the wealth about as much as they could when a guy goes out for a scoring outburst as well. And still got to give credit to the Colby girls for showing good fight at the end on a comeback where they were really in foul trouble. I think it was Shelly Holzmeister and Emily Flanagan, 2 starters, were both in foul trouble. They each had 4, but they were able to play in those final 4 or 5 minutes and not foul out and kind of play it safe. And Coach Walker did a good job kind of towing the line with subs and stuff like that with the fouls. So it made for a pretty interesting game, and you could tell Hoxie was sweating a little bit at the end.
Well, anyway, Colby with a great start, at least the boys 2-0 here in the new year, girls with a 1-1 start here in 2026, and a couple of good games coming up on Friday when they Holcomb in Hugoton to the Colby Event Center. Last night down in Holcomb, Goodland and the Longhorns of Holcomb faced off. It was a matchup in both games of 2 teams that were tied at the top of the GWAC standings. Both teams were 2-0 going into that game. Going into those games, the girls' game was the most impressive performance from the Goodland perspective, as the Cowgirls absolutely take care of the Longhorns convincingly, 53-36, the final score, as Goodland just went to work. Visiting with Coach Bill Bierman prior to the game, and we were talking with Bill about, just about the game, and he was just like, I'm a little bit nervous about this game. Holcomb's had a game to shake the rust off, but I feel good about the girls. I think they're locked in, ready to go. And boy, he read that perfectly. They were locked in from the start. They knew it was a big game. And visiting with some people after game, making a great point about how, that the competition they faced at the Flurry on Flush, yes, they got beat, but you could just tell that it made them sharper. And they really took, they had Holcomb at times, especially in the third quarter, like passing up shots. Like they're like, oh, we're not going to take that shot. No, we're not going to make
guessing.
Yeah, they were second guessing. You're exactly right. And Goodland did a great job defensively. It's not like they turned him over 20 times. They just did a really good job. I thought defensively overall, and Goodland did a great job of taking advantage of their size inside. They had the bigger team. They went inside. They were able to score inside. They took advantage of that. The only black eye on the game from the Goodland perspective was rebounding, gave up way too many second chance points. Did the Cowgirls there in that game, and second chance opportunities as well. So got to get better at that, and I'm sure they'll practice the living daylights out of that today. But I thought overall, just a whale of a performance. And you beat an unbeaten top 5 ranked team in their house, on their home floor, 53-36. That was pretty good. Goodland, it was a close game kind of in the first half, pulled away in the third quarter and just kind of cruised to a nice, convincing win there for Goodland. Very impressive showing from the Cowgirls. Great balance, 3 girls in double figures, led by 15 points from Libby Curran officially. And then the boys game, it kind of went how I thought it might. In my brain, I kind of thought, well, Holcomb's going to come out. They're going to make some shots. They're going to get an early lead. Goodland's going to, fight throughout the game to kind of keep it close. I just don't know if Goodland's going to have enough in the tank to overcome them. And that's the way it kind of went. Holcomb got out to an early lead, and then, they were up at one point in time, I think by 15 or 17 points. And Goodland was able at some point in time to chop it down to 6 in the fourth quarter. With a great little run, but it just wasn't enough. And, and they lose 56-48, did Goodland, the third-ranked Holcomb Longhorns. That's a great Holcomb team. They have great balance. They had, I think, every single guy that got in the game scored in some sort of capacity. No one had more than, I think, like 11 or 13 points, and the least amount of guy had like 5. So it was just so balanced of scoring across the lineup for Holcomb. And Goodland, Connor Collett went out there, had a great game again, had his 19 points and 6 rebounds. And Braylon Mole got off to a great start, knocked a couple of threes down, but didn't really score until late in the third quarter and the fourth quarter on. They could have used a little bit more from him offensively and a few other guys. And, visiting with Coach Doss-Raymer post-game, he talks about, we got to find a way to get off to a better start offensively in games. We can't always be getting down by, 6 to 10 points in the first quarter and then having to fight so hard to get back in that. And so, we got to find a way to be a little bit better in those areas of fighting to, getting an earlier lead, something along those lines. That's right. And I would agree with him on that. How you go about doing that I don't know. I think Goodland needs a little bit more from its bench at times. And as I've kind of noticed over the course, Goodland's got to make more 3-pointers. Just the way their team is constructed, they hit 6 4 3-pointers last night. They got to get in the 6 range at minimum and get 6 to 8, and that usually puts them in a great position to win these games. And they just haven't hit the 3s in the games that they've lost. But credit to Goodland. Once again, I can't take anything away from them. When you lose 86% of your scoring from a year ago, and you still have not, and you've played the competition you have, the second-ranked team, the third-ranked team, in 3A, you've played a ranked Buhler team, a Eudora team that's very good, Scott City team that's good. You've lost in the losses that the Cowboys have in 4 losses. They've all been by less than double digits. They've all been close losses. And to have a team that's pretty much new, minus Braylon Mole and Jackson Miller, that's, I think, a real feather in the cap to them. So they played hard, just didn't have enough when it was all said and done, and got down too much early and couldn't overcome a 56-48 loss there for Goodland. Some other scores from around the area. On the girls' side, Oakley winning at Oberlin 45-34. Golden Plains had I think they led through 3 quarters, lost it in the fourth to Wichita County 47-44. Wheatland Grinnell with the win at Wallace County 47-30. Quinter cruising to a win over Hill City 49-27. And Shiloh suffering their first loss of the season. Lady Cougars were 6-0 going into last night's game. They lost at Juanita Palisades 60-50 to the Lady Cougars of Shiloh. And then boys scores, you had Oberlin beating Oakley 50-40. Golden Plains falling to Wichita County 61-38. Wallace County defending home court over Wheatland Grinnell 52-41. And Shiloh with the win over Juanita Palisade, 55-48. A few area scores that I saw reported from last night for high school hoops. And now a couple days off to practice and then back on the hardwood on Friday for a lot of area teams. All right, let's transition. Also last night, late, got to see the end of this game on the bus ride home. Kansas pulls out the win over TCU last night in, I don't want to say miracle fashion, but it kind of felt like a miracle.
Yeah.
104-100 in overtime. The best way to describe this, and Michael on the F&B Bank text line brought this up. He goes, his point was made here. He goes, you can't count out the Hawks anytime when Allen Fieldhouse is rocking. And it's an absolute fact. That game was not won by the Jayhawks. It was won by the Fog. That's what happened. Because with less than a minute to play, TCU led by 9 and still end up losing this basketball game. Led by 15 at one point in time in the second half. There's a time I was riding back on the bus, Connor, and I thought to myself, oh my, KU's about to go 0-2 in conference play against two schools that have acronyms for their names, TCU and UCF.
Yes.
Not like Houston or whoever else you want to throw into that mix, Arizona. No. UCF and TCU, they're about to go 0-2 against. And one of those games, of course, being at home. But they find the Fog willed them to a win last night. And TCU just completely crumbled. I mean, Fran Fischilla on the call last night with Boog Chambly kept saying, oh, my goodness, Jamie Dixon, the head coach for TCU, he killed his team in the final. It was a coaching tape that you want to burn because he did not do his team any favors in the last couple minutes. They just completely crumbled.
Jamie Dixon's still there?
You bet.
Wow.
Still there.
He's been there for quite a while.
Yeah, he was at Pitt for a long time prior to that. So, it's last night, great performance from Darren Peterson as he led the way with the career-high 32 points on 8 of 18 shooting, and then he went an impressive 13 of 15 from the line. Of course, he made the 3 free throws in the final, less than a second to tie the game and send it to overtime. He was huge, even though he didn't play late in the fourth and some in overtime because of his cramping issues, I guess.
So bizarre.
But
I get it.
He can go out and drop 32 on apparently 2 average legs and figure it out from there, I guess. But
yeah,
it's quite an interesting showing last night. Also 22 from Trey White. A lot of people complaining about Trey White. He got 22 points last night, so he did his part. Melvin Council Jr., who apparently they call the dog. Do you ever hear it when he scores? They like woof in the crowd.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
I think that's what they were doing last night. He played 41 minutes alongside Flory Badunga, had 18 points. Badunga had 16. Not much production off the bench, just 7 points off the bench for KU. But the starters get it done in a 104-100 deal. Did you happen to watch any of this game at all? I don't know when you got back or got to catch in this action or not.
I got home basically right when overtime started, so I saw most of overtime. And I think one of the first things I saw was when Jaden Pierre, I think it was when he was going to inbound for TCU and they were down by like 2 or 3, and he lost the handle on the ball.
Yeah, that was
straight to what was it? Elmarco Jackson, I think.
Yeah.
And you could see it on his face. He couldn't believe he did it. And I almost felt bad because TCU was right there and had a chance to come back because they kept answering after every Kansas free throw. They'd come down and hit a 3 again and again and again. So it's like Kansas just couldn't put him away. And then that was kind of the death blow. But then it felt like he got him back into it because Pierre hit another 3. But eventually it wasn't enough. And KU, as you can see, some overtime highlights playing right now. If you're watching the video stream right now, they pulled it out in OT. They just couldn't stop scoring. And Melvin Council Jr. was doing a lot of that in overtime. He was so big. I really like watching him play. He's cool.
He's got a great deal. I tell you what, I haven't seen a lot, and I'm guessing KU fans can say they haven't seen a lot of Darren Peterson, but I'm telling you what, to watch him play, he is one smooth operator. I mean, Melvin Council Jr. is very good too, but I'm telling you, Darren Peterson is a smooth operator. God, the way he gets the bucket and can finish with both hands, and he's quick off that first dribble and, dead down. He is no doubt a top pick coming up in this year's NBA draft. But
there's a reason he was the number 1 recruit.
I mean, he is awesome, but he can't stay on the floor long enough. KU needs more from him, and his body just can't give it to him right now. It's been nuts to watch. And how about TCU? How sick are you that you go to Allen Fieldhouse, leading by 15, had a chance to win, and you made 15 3-pointers, shot 43% from three, made 15 threes, but didn't come up with the win. That's got to be. That's a tough pill to swallow right there. God.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to muster that too well if I'm Jamie Dixon, but it tells you that you're pretty good, at least if you can hang with Kansas at home with Darren Peterson.
I mean,
it's something.
They had some issues with their big guy, David Punch, who, by the way, was impressive. He moved pretty good for a big guy, handled the ball pretty well for a big guy. He had 20 points last night, 9 rebounds, 5 blocks, but he, late in the game, had cramping issues, so he didn't play a whole lot in that game.
Jeez.
So
it's contagious.
Apparently, it's a problem. Michael says TCU was the better team last night, but they pooped the bed the last 3 minutes. Yes, they did. Yes, they absolutely did. And Jamie Dixon, once again, did not help them at all. He could have used a timeout when things were slipping away, kind of got his team back on track. He didn't, and it resulted in KU coming back and winning that one. And the question is, if they lose that game, Kansas, I mean, they're 0-2, they're 10-5, they're going to be unranked, they're out of the top 25. I mean, how much of a blow is that to this season's any kind of momentum they have for the rest of the year? Because KU fans aren't used to having a team that's mediocre.
No, not at all.
So what happens when the team is mediocre?
Well, fans revolt. People are mad. I mean, people are still going to come to the games. I don't think it would change anything in terms of the home atmosphere, but there's definitely some worry, and I don't know if people would start calling.
I don't even know if I thought, maybe people could correct me, but I thought maybe it's because it was late and it was a Monday night, and that could have been the reason why. But I didn't feel like, at least late in the game, the crowd was very good. I felt like it was even a little sparse in some areas. I saw a few areas where seats were open. But I wonder if that was just because, well, it's Monday night and it's late. It's 10 o'clock.
Not a great day for a good crowd.
But, that's when the great. Sorry, it was a Tuesday night, not a Monday night. I beg your pardon. But, I mean, I just wonder. I don't know. But it's no doubt that TCU blew it more than they pulled it out last night. There's no doubt that TCU blew it.
I think that's fair to say.
But credit to Kansas. Didn't give up, kept playing, and got it done in the end, 104-100 over TCU. But it was this close. It was this close to kind of just going to you-know-what in a handbasket right there. It was getting really, really close. And Kansas gets the win and pulls it out, 11-4 on the season. And KU will be back in action, I think, on Saturday against West Virginia on the road, who pulled out a close one over Cincinnati last night, I saw. So Kansas, once again, 104-100 winners last night, coming from behind. 15 points down at one point in time late in the second half and down 9 in the final minute, yet find a way to win it in overtime. Okay, 7:33 Mountain, 8:33 Central Time here on a Wednesday. We'll take our first break. Up next, Lincoln Cure will join us in studio. We'll talk to him about his first-year experience at Kansas State playing football for the Wildcats, a new head coach he'll be dealing with now in Colin Klein. All that fun stuff next here on a Wednesday edition of the Morning Blitz.
Kick off 2026 ready for whatever winter brings. At Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby, they've got the gear to start the new year strong. Get organized with rugged storage totes. And when the snow starts falling, if it does, power through it with Ego and Craftsman snow blowers. Or if it's just the light stuff, blow it away with Ego leaf blowers. And don't forget ice melt to keep your sidewalk safe all season long. New year, winter ready. Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Helpful folks, trusted brands, and everything you need to get it done.
At F&B Bank, we believe local businesses are the heart of our community. That's why we're more than just your bank. We're your neighbor, your customer, and your biggest supporter. From the corner cafe to the hardware store downtown, we're walking the same streets, shopping the same shops, and investing in the same future, yours. We're here, we're local, and we're always in your corner. F&B Bank, banking built on community, member FDIC.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning. This is Tom Saluda with the Anderson Trade Group with your overnight market report on January 7th. In the overnight session, March corn was up 1.5 at 445.5. May corn was up 1.5 at 453, and July was up 2 at 459. March soybeans was up 11 at 1067. May up 10 at 1078, and July up 9 at 1089. March Kansas City hard red winter wheat was up 6 at 528. May KC wheat up 6 at 539, and July KC wheat up 5.5 at 551.5. The Dow Jones currently up 70 points at at 49,794. The S&P is unchanged at 6,989. NASDAQ is down 36 points at 25,785. Gold is down 34 points at 44.62 an ounce. And silver is slightly down at 77 an ounce. Crude oil is unchanged at 57 a barrel. If you're out in the Colorado area and have any grain to market or risk management questions, please call John Hanke or John Stiles at 970-744-4484, or you can call the Overland Park office, myself, Tom Saludo, Jared Law, or Tyler Ghosh at 913-748-3000.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at CISA.gov/secure-our-world. Then share them with family and friends.
If you're buying or selling cattle, make your first stop livestockmarket.com. Bred cows, heifers, pairs, bulls, and frozen genetics, even feeder calves. You'll find them all at livestockmarket.com. Livestock Market features private treaty sales, online auctions, and live production sale bidding. You'll also find horses, sheep, goats, and hay. Check out the free Livestock Market magazine wherever you pick up Tractor House, and download the Livestock Market mobile app today.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, and cleaner American fuel. This message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Breaking down the plays, the players, and the passion.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
This is the Morning Blitz.
We're back here on a Wednesday morning. Once again, January the 7th, expected to be temperatures in the upper 50s today. Right now, 31 and cloudy on the high plains. We will get to what is going on in Seattle, Washington. More great, in quotation marks, portal news in the world of college football. But we're pleased to welcome into the program. Couldn't make it to us yesterday, but he is here today. Lincoln Cure joining us in the morning, buddy. How are we doing today?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
You bet, man. Great for you to join in. I want to start off first and foremost, just kind of looking back at this first year. What was it like just when you look back at this first year of playing football at the Division I level for Kansas State? You know, getting there, getting acclimated, learning Division I football. The system, the coaches, the school, all that stuff. Even the time away from the field. What was the first year experience like? If you could kind of wrap it up into a minute or so.
Yeah, no, it was very eventful. I think when I got there first in the summer, I don't think for me, like, I loved the workouts and stuff like that. Probably the hardest adjustment for me was learning how to use a computer, because I never used one at Goodland. So the online classes, and they're walking me through all that, and I'm like, I thought this was gonna be easier, but this is honestly it was really tough for me.
That's
I'm
fascinating,
because it was
wow.
It was a new we had to use a new source of everything, and that was probably the hardest part for me. But no, obviously from a football standpoint, everything went good. It was obviously a very eventful season. I had a injury in the summer with my toe, and recently got surgery for that, pushing through. And then in fall camp, I had that injury on my knee, so that kind of took me out for I think about 7 weeks. And then when I came back, I assumed that I was probably going to work into the tight end position, to play the two positions I knew. And then sure enough, Coach Wells pulled me aside one day and said, "You're going to play a receiver from here on out." So learned a whole new position, and would do that every week, learn about 25 new plays. So I enjoyed it. I think I was more comfortable in that situation anyway. But fun season. Should have had a lot more wins, and obviously got very eventful towards the end of it. But no, I think it was a great experience. I think being thrown in there like that, I learned a lot as a player and as a person, and matured a lot. So it was good.
Lincoln, when you mentioned that position change from tight end to receiver, how challenging is that to go from that to that?
For me, I think I was more naturally just a wide receiver at that point. I didn't get a lot of work in fall camp as a tight end. I got about, I want to say, probably 4 days before that injury to my knee, and but no, I obviously had to learn. I didn't know there was as much to it as as they did. So no, I learned like how to read coverages. I worked with the quarterbacks coach, Coach McGuire, learning new stuff every week, and so that was really interesting to me. He was the backup quarterback at Florida State for Jameis Winston, so he was the quarterback. I'd always ask him stories. Like he had a funny story, like when Jameis Winston got suspended in that Clemson game. He found out like the night before that he was going to be playing. So like, we always had good conversations, but like he taught me a lot as a football player. And but no, it was definitely interesting. I think like I said, just grew a lot as a player, just learning all that stuff, leverage, attacking, points of attack. I think it was a good experience for me for sure.
Was I'm sure the mental part was challenging, to learn all these plays and to learn all this stuff. I guess my question, physically, did you feel like you were there, minus of course injuries? Were you were there at the level you need to be to play at Division I level?
Yeah, I think so. I think I was there physically. Obviously, I don't believe I was ever 100%. Just with that toe thing and that knee, just never really felt 100%. I guess, but no, physically, I was running with those guys. I was just as fast, and then, obviously from a physical standpoint, was stronger than all of them. So I kind of just had, we'd always look for mismatches with me, and kind of created a lot of things that you wouldn't really see.
Lincoln Cure joining us in studio. K-State football wide receiver / tight end. I don't know what you'll be doing in the news system. We'll find out here in the coming years. I wanted to also get your thought. What was your how are you on the first time you got on the field? Was it Arizona? Correct.
Yeah, it was Arizona.
What was going through your mind, your stomach? What was coming up? How were you on that first game? You were talking about Coach McGuire and his emotional feelings. How were you in your first game?
Yeah, I was. No, I was a little nervous. Obviously, I remember like in the locker room. I was right next to Garrett Oakley, and I'm like, I just turned to him and I'm like, dude, I'm pretty nervous. And he's like, no, it'll be like that. And he respect to Garrett Oakley, he helped me out a lot through all that. And but yeah, my first play, it was actually a play like kind of designed to get me the ball on an under mesh. And so when I went out there and they called it, I was like, oh, here we go. Like, welcome to college football. And but no, it was I should have had the ball too. I beat my guy off the line and then was wide open, but they had a lot of pressure on Avery that game. So they got to Avery before Avery could get the ball, but that ball was coming my way. And but no, it was definitely it was a very cool experience. And then I think my next play, I pancaked their safety or something right next to Oaks out there, and we were just all hyped up. So it was a fun experience for sure.
You get your first catch either a game or two later. What was that experience like to get that first catch? I remember hearing it on the radio with Wyatt Thompson making the call.
No, it was awesome. That was another play where I was on the under mesh and I saw the zone, so I sat, and Avery kind of wasn't looking my way at first. He pump faked this other way, so I kind of looked over there, I thought he was throwing the ball that way, and then I looked back and the ball's coming my way, so caught it. And then got up, and I was just it was a very surreal experience. The crowd kind of erupted too. It was almost like a standing ovation. So I was that was very that was very cool to me. Just to kind of see the support behind. So it was really cool.
Two more plays I want to talk about. First, the good one. What was up with the count to get a catch against KU in that game? What was it like to get a catch in that one?
Oh, that was awesome.
Was that the best one of season one?
Yeah, I think so. I was it was pretty early on in the game, and had that good catch, and it was raining at that point.
It was,
so
yes.
I'm in leather gloves. And I kind of knew the ball might be coming my way that play. So I'm I need to make this catch. So my main focus was when I saw Avery throw it to me, I was I got to bring this in and then, do whatever else after. And I just got tackled out of bounds immediately and saw one of my teammates push the KU player over me. And then they threw the flag. I got up and I signaled for a first down. And then there's just almost little brawl going on behind me. And I'm like, oh gosh, what's going on? But no, I'll always have those 2 catches over Leighton in that game. So like he always like brings up he had a touchdown.
He
this
did
year.
get a
So
touchdown. Yes.
I'm like, you got that over me. But
I'm
like,
thankful he got a touchdown.
Yeah, but we got the Sunflower Showdown. So I'll hold that against him.
That's right. That was great. And then the big thing I have to ask is what was going on the pass play where you had to attempt to throw? You have to break this down for us because I'm not going to lie. When I saw the stat line that Lincoln Care had a pick, and I thought, what are they doing?
No, it was I think I can't remember how long we were like been working on that trick play, but yeah, they're finding dudes that could throw the ball. So I like stepped up. I'm like, here, like Coach Wells, let me try this. And I throw it, and he was like, all right, that's our guy.
That'll
do.
do.
Yeah. And I was like, I was throwing it pretty good, and in practice the play worked every time. So we were very confident in it. And but it was a formation that we never come out in, and like, you know, who's UCF to expect them to just throw a screen pass to me like that. So I think they knew instantly when we like speed braked out of the huddle that something was up. And I told Ancio, I'm throwing this ball. Like, I don't care. Like, we got to get a tight end to tight end touchdown. And no, he was all in. And yeah, but we just never really got the look where they covered it in practice. But no, I definitely should have just turned up and ran it. But yeah, no, that being like my first like college touch, will like I'd see it as like, obviously it was like pretty tough, like in the moment. Like it was like a dream. Like I throw it, the guy tackles me. I look up at the video board while I'm on the ground, and I see the guy intercept it, toe tap, he's in bounds. I'm like, oh gosh. And I look to the sideline, and there's Coach Wells just fuming. I'm like, I was like, oh god. Like, I knew I was probably gonna get my ass shooting a little bit, but no, they were you know, it was understood. They, you know, I was tough on myself for obviously like making that decision, but you know, we just wanted that tight end touchdown. But now I'll probably go down as the worst quarterback in K-State history. So, hopefully, I have
many bad
chance.
quarterbacks
Yeah.
before you were even thought about, young man at Kansas State. I have a feeling.
But going back a little bit, you mentioned you're banged up coming into the season. How tough is the transition to going from injured to playing shape in college football?
Yeah, no, it's very tough, and I was still like kind of dealing. Like the hardest part for me was the mental game, is like knowing, like, you know, I didn't personally feel like I was 100%, but I was like, you know, it's gonna be like that. I had people tell me like, you're never gonna be 100% playing college football. There's always gonna be something wrong. So, you know, and I knew too, like I just need to kind of like get out of my head, and I was gonna be all right. But yeah, no, it's definitely like the toughest part about it was just the mental game. You know, knowing that, you know, I knew I wasn't 100%, but I was good enough to go, and kind of just had to get through that point for sure.
Lincoln Cure joining us here in studio, talking about his first year experience at Kansas State playing football. I want to get to kind of the end of the year. When did you kind of have the feeling or the notion or know that Coach Kleiman was not going to be back the following season?
Yeah, I think obviously we heard like speculation throughout the season, just rumors and stuff like that. But and then I think that Utah game was definitely, that was tough on all of us for sure. Losing a game like that, and I know it was tough on Coach Kleiman, but no, we never really got like the vibe from him that it was going to be the end. Even like after the season, we had a player meeting, and Avery was kind of just telling us his conversations with Coach Kleiman, and Coach Kleiman made it seem like he was going to be back. Like a lot of the, you know, coaches are going to be back, and we're going to, you know, try this again next year. But then, and I'm not totally sure if like that news outlet that released it, like did it sooner than they were supposed to, or I'm not totally sure. There's a bunch of rumors, but no, we everybody else found out same time we all did. So we yeah, I couldn't really believe it. I saw it on Twitter, and I was just like, okay, like whatever. Obviously, like people are just gonna talk. And then I saw On3, which is like a very reliable source, released it. So I'm like, okay, this might be a real thing. So I right away I texted one of like my sources from On3 that I knew from high school, and he said, I think it's legit, like it's a legit source. So I'm like, I was pretty like blown away, and but I wasn't exactly sure where they got the Coach Klein from, because at the time I think Gene Taylor wasn't even like planning on anything. But it was like it was definitely like it was a wreck, like for sure. Like I know like Lindsay was telling me when she was in class, she had some football guys in her class, and she said like her professor brought it up and everything. And they all just kind of looked around like all surprised. Like we had like no idea. We were all like kind of blindsided the way everybody else was. But no, it was a crazy experience for sure.
And then to the next step of that, you're in limbo. You don't know what to do. You're just kind of like, well, I guess I'll be here. And then to hear the official news that Coach Klein is going to come be the head of the program, and you know him from him recruiting you when he was at Texas A&M. So what was it like from your perspective to hear that Coach Klein was going to come back and run the K-State program? I would assume you were like, all right.
Yeah, it was a big sense of relief for sure. Because like I love K-State. I wasn't in like I didn't want to go anywhere, and I was obviously with just situations it was pretty tough. But no, Coach Klein, I think he called me maybe it was that night he called me. I knew once I saw that name on my phone, I was like, okay, here we go, and called him, and I was like, I picked up, and I was like, man, you have no idea how good it is to hear your voice right now. And he was like, he's like, likewise. And but no, yeah, he told me that he was going to take the job, and that was awesome for me. Like, I think I had the closest relationship with him throughout my whole recruiting process. Like, sometimes I'd just go to him for like advice, and he was always there. And so yeah, for him to get that job was a big sense of relief for me, and like knowing like I trust him with what he's going to do at K-State, and I know a lot of other people do, and I was very excited. I knew what he's going to bring to the program, and a lot of other people also know, and but no, it was very him being like one of my favorite players when I was younger, and then like sure enough, like I never thought I was gonna like play for him because he was A&M. I wasn't sure what he's gonna do, and then sure enough, like full circle moment, and I think it's God's timing. But no, I was definitely I was very excited to just kind of get all that news for sure.
A couple more quick ones for and we'll let you go. But you were, K-State had a chance to go to a bowl game, decided to pass it up. Some people think that's great. Some people don't think it's great. But nonetheless, when what has it been like during this time? I mean, are you working in the weight room? Are you, I'm sure you're getting treatment, obviously, but I mean, what are you kind of doing during this time of, I would call limbo before Coach Klein got done with his playoff experience and got there to Manhattan? What was kind of like that like?
Yeah, we weren't sure for like a couple of weeks, I think. Like,
yeah, I mean, that was a long time. You're kind of being limbo.
Yeah, we were, but it was probably the best situation for us, and it was good because once we found out that we weren't, Coach Klein immediately got to work, which is good. Instead of like, we weren't sure who our coaches were going to be, who our players were going to be. It was all just like kind of a crazy deal. And but Coach Klein was able to get to work like weeks and weeks earlier. I think he once he got the job, he came to Manhattan and had a meeting with all of us, had individual player meetings the next week, and like we wouldn't have been able to do that until like, I don't know, if we were in that I think we were predicted to the Rate Bowl, which was
something like that, yeah,
December 26th. So we wouldn't be able to start all that until around this time. But no, I think it's been pretty crazy around the facility. When I had my player meeting, I was up there waiting in line, and like I saw like all the old coaches moving out. So that was like definitely like a weird experience for sure. But no, it's been good so far. Coach Klein, he's got all those coaches in, and we're getting transfers in, but it's also like everybody's a little on edge right now too. Some guys are getting cut. I found out one of my roommates got cut, so that was definitely like, I was like, oh, this is like pretty crazy. And then so yeah, I know a lot of guys are like on edge a little bit, but I trust Coach Klein to kind of get everything together. And no, I think we should be all right. But yeah,
has he listed off his expectations for you? Is he going to keep you at tight end? Are you going to play more wide receiver, or has he had that conversation?
Yeah, kind of the plan now, and obviously after spring ball, things could change. You never know. But yeah, it'll kind of just be a little bit of tight end, a little bit of wide receiver. I'll just I guess you could just say playmaker, I guess is kind of how to title it, I guess, if you want to. So yeah, but I can't really put a name to it or anything because I'm not totally sure yet, but I think it'll be a little bit of everything.
X factor.
Yeah, X factor. Yeah,
but not quarterback.
Yeah, no way, never again.
Lincoln Cure here with us in studio. Lincoln, thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate the time, and we'll have to catch up down the road. All right, buddy?
Sir, thank you for having me.
Once again, there's Lincoln Cure in studio joining us here on the Morning Blitz. We'll take a timeout, come back, wrap up the show with the crazy situation happening up at the University of Washington with portal madness next in the Morning Blitz.
You know, a must-stop 24 hours a day is Mittens TA with a restaurant, convenience store, gas and diesel pumps under the canopies, and view the wildlife there. Exhibits like deer, elk, pheasant, and more. That's Mittens TA 24 hours a day just off I-70, exit 76 of Oakley.
Don't let unwanted guests bug you. Call Richard Winter at Pestaway LLC in Goodland, your local expert for safe, effective pest control. He'll keep your home protected year-round. Call 785-728-7166 for Pestaway LLC.
The holiday season just got brighter at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Wrap up the year with 0% for 36 months on all 2026 Chevrolet Trailblazer and Equinox models. Or slide into a new GMC, 1.9% for 36 months on a 26 Arcadia, plus up to $7,000 in rebates on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation with Turbo Max with eligible trade-in. Big savings, big style, and big holiday cheer. Only at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Stop in today or visit online at hurlchev.com.
When you need strength that lasts, count on Slosher Concrete. From driveways and sidewalks to farm, commercial, and highway projects, they're your local concrete pros serving Goodland, Burlington, and the tri-state area. Slosher Concrete, building the foundation of our communities.
It's never too early to start making your Valentine's wish list at Donnellan Jewelry. Let us help you make your loved one's wishes come true this Valentine's Day. Shop local. Shop Donnellan Jewelry in downtown Colby.
Saturday night, June 27th, 2026. An incredible evening at the Colby Event Center. NWKS Radio presents Colin Ray in concert.
And between now and then, until I see you again, I'll be loving you.
Colin Ray's biggest country hits.
Love me. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Tickets available now at nwksradio.net. nwksradio.net. Get them now.
That's when I knew you were my kind of girl.
Country music legend Colin Ray, Saturday night, June 27th, 2026, at the Colby Event Center, presented by NWKS Radio.
From the headlines to the highlights.
It's good! The Wildcats are champions of the Big 12!
This is the Morning Blitz.
Thank you again to Lincoln Cure for stopping by the program. It was great to catch up with him, get his thoughts on the whole situation. And it's kind of from our perspective, it's great to have a connection to kind of get the insider information on what's going on with Key State. So back to college football as we wrap up the show here. If you haven't been following along, the portal, of course, as we talked about yesterday in the final segment, how much Ross hates the portal, and it continues to completely nosedive in how much I hate the portal, because there was an interesting story yesterday out of Washington. So I think it was about a week or two ago that Damon Williams, who's a really, really talented quarterback for Washington, signed a new deal. Isn't it so weird that on Twitter it says, Damon Williams has re-signed up with Washington with a new deal. Doesn't give any deal. It just says isn't it so weird to see that?
I don't like that at all.
It's like icky. Frankly. It's like icky. It makes you feel icky.
But that's the world we're in now. That's
you're exactly right.
Sports.
Yeah. It is. And so anyway, it makes you feel icky. And nonetheless, it's But now it looks like as if LSU has reached out to Damon Williams, people saying, hey, we'd love for you to come take a visit and possibly come to LSU. Well, he's already signed with Washington, but now he's entered into the transfer portal, they say, but Washington has the contract over him. And so now it's going to become this possible legality and war. I mean, it's just nasty. This is disgusting. What is going on in college football is absolutely horrific.
Now he has to request a release or something. Like, is this... Yeah. This is insane. I mean, I guess they have contract over him because that's how things work now. You can buy guys.
Think about if you're Washington. Someone made a point on social media, Connor. What about this? What if you're Washington and you say, no, you can't. You're going to stay here. Then you've got a quarterback playing for you that doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, what if he sits out? Like, you could have that.
I'll tell you what I would do. If I was Washington, I'd say, fine, you're going to give me all the money that you were owed right now up front. You're going to pay us all the money back. So cut me a check.
He'd probably file a lawsuit.
Probably would.
Yeah.
Welcome to the era of lawsuit. Shouldn't maybe the portal era, should be the lawsuit era.
I don't think we've had too many yet, but I'm sure they're going to start piling up as this thing goes on.
I hate this time. I hate it. It's ugly. It's disgusting. It makes college football terrible. But yeah, hitting the portal after signing a new deal with the team that you were with and had success with, and now you're like, I'm going to go somewhere else. Just disgusting.
And on top of that, he had a legit legacy going in Washington, and he could have been one of the better quarterbacks in their school's history. And it seemed like they had a really fun thing going. They weren't amazing, but they
were very good.
And he was the man there.
Yep, he was very good. It's a bad situation. Follow along the Damon Williams situation of Washington. It's ugly. All right, on to the walk-off.
And back lifts his ball deep to right. How about a walk-off Brady? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
Little college basketball tonight for you. You've got Kansas State with a tough one on the road at a number 1 ranked Arizona. 18.5-point dogs are the Wildcats. Will they cover?
I'm thinking maybe, because last night
maybe is not an answer. It's either
we saw. I know this wasn't on the road, but last night Michigan only beat Penn State by 2.
Nuts.
Penn State was they were 22.5-point dogs. So
did you see Minnesota Iowa at the end of that game? Iowa had 3 good looks to win it or to tie.
I saw the clip. That was
them all.
Crazy. Good for. There's my Minnesota propaganda. I talked about them earlier this week, and hey, they got a great coach. Nico Medved's the man.
Also, K-State, Arizona tonight. That's on 100 Point Through the Ride. That is an 8 Central, 7 Mountain Time tip. Utah also tipping at 7. Colorado also tipping at 7 Mountain Time against Utah for some college hoops. Buffalo's currently at home, 9.5-point favorites. And of course, tonight there's some JUCO hoops. You've got Colby Community College hosting Pratt, former Colby High School grad and future Western Illinois Bulldog. Hunter Vaughn will be at the event center tonight with his Pratt Beavers taking on the Trojans, and 42nd Northwest at home taking on Cloud County tonight. So some JUCO hoops for you.
Yep. We'll be there for Fort Hays Tech. Let's go.
Connor Schuh will have the coverage for you on the KJCCC network. All right. That'll do it for us today. Thanks to Lincoln Cure. Thanks to you as always for listening. We're back tomorrow on a Thursday. Hope you join us then. It's been the Morning Blitz.